What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be going over a build I'm calling the A-10 Finnity VEX-XXXL Warthog build. I know, crazy title, but basically what we're doing is taking advantage of Vex's Undead Eye class mod to proc Bloodshot as often as possible, and we're doing that using the highest rate of fire sniper in the game, which is the Finnity-XXXL, combined with some COV enhancements and firmware, and try to stack as much fire rate as possible to basically proc as much Bloodshot as possible to basically just melt everything in the game. It's incredibly fun. It doesn't utilize any bugs that I'm aware of. It doesn't use the crit knife, which isn't really a bug, but it's kind of boring at this point. But we are 100% crit chance without that, thanks to one of our enhancements. So yeah, I mean, it's just insane. But it's been a ton of fun to put together, and let's get into it. So yeah, like I mentioned, the main kind of focus on this build is the Finnity-XXXL. It's a minigun that they, for some reason, classified as a sniper, so love that. So the Finnity drops from the Battle Wagon, which is up here in Stoneblow's Forest in Terminus Range at the Loring March Ripper drill site. It's a COV mag. The gun, has the unlimited mag, but it will overheat and eventually break if you shoot for too long. And so the goal of this build is going to be to stay in overheat for as long as possible without breaking. And there's a few different ways that we're going to do that, and we'll get into that. But this is your main weapon for the build. So basically what we're doing is we are utilizing the Undead Eye class mod. So this is going to allow us to trigger Bloodshot on every sniper kill. But more importantly, also every sniper crit has a 33% chance to trigger a Bloodshot. So basically the idea is to fire as many bullets as possible, as fast as possible, while it's hitting as many crits as possible to just proc as many Bloodshots. So Bloodshot is sort of the main source of our damage in this build. We'll talk about Bloodshot when we get into the skill tree, but basically think of it as a big chunk of damage that scales off your health whenever it procs. And I got an okay roll. It always comes with sniper damage, and then 30% skill damage will also buff Bloodshot. It's a small little additive piece, but it's good enough. I would love to get a +5 Bloodshot, would be best in slot, but I just haven't farmed for a better one yet. Someday. We're going to combine that with the Timekeeper's new shield. So this gives us 7,500 flat health, which more than doubles our base health. So our base health is like 5,400 or something like that. Let's see. Base health, well, 6,000. So I have a little multiplier on, but it's basically like 5K, a little more than that. Timekeeper is going to put us up to like 13, 14K or more if you have some percentage increases. And that's going to directly scale our Bloodshot damage. So Bloodshot, it turns your shot into a kinetic bullet, basically, and also deals bonus damage that's based on your current health. So that's like how much health you have at that moment. So we're going to want to stay full HP, and we're going to want as much health as possible. So Timekeeper Shield is just the way to do it. We can talk about alternatives later in the video. And then this enhancement is incredibly important. Incredibly annoying to farm for because there's no target farm, and the COV enhancements are very rare. From what I've been farming this for like a week now, and this is the only one I've gotten. It's not bad, but it could be better. But anyway, so the most important part is the main enhancement, duct tape. So guns with a COV license mag, which is our Finnity, has the COV license mag, which is the overheat feature. Guns with that magazine have a 100% chance to deal critical damage while overheating. So yeah, you'll see when you're not in the overheat, so just in the normal state where the ammo counter is like highlighted blue. We're just going to be hitting body shots, right? No crits here. You can see the red crit if it was a crit. Nothing. And then right as we start overheating, now that it's red, all crits, 100% crit. Until it breaks. So that is why that enhancement is so strong. It pretty much makes the build what it is. We don't need to use the penetrator knife. I have it equipped mostly because I just have a 3-piece Deadeye that's completed with it on, and I don't really know what else to use. Like grenades don't really do a whole lot for the build, but I don't use it. You don't need it for this build at all because it's 100% crit with the enhancement. I mean, obviously you can use it and like use a different enhancement. There actually is there is another really good COV enhancement. I'm not sure if I have it. Let me check. So yeah, this smelter mod is nuts. It actually is really strong for this build, but I just don't want to use the knife because I'm stubborn and weird. But this and it's just more consistent. Like you need to use the knife on every damage, like anytime you're trying to chunk a target if you weren't using that enhancement. But this one's nuts. Like guns with COV licensed max have a 35% fire rate when over 50% heat, which is just like basically all the time. Yeah, it's nuts. Like I would, if someone like I think I would like actually pay real money for a legendary that combines those two. I don't even know if that's possible, but just the thought of it has me like salivating. So I don't know, just pray, because there's nowhere to really farm those. But yeah, that's like that. I think this enhancement's a must. Like you can use the knife if you want, but I don't know. And then for our rep kit, we are using shiny war paint. This gives us 30% fire rate, some movement speed, and we reduce the cooldown whenever we take damage. And we're also reducing our cooldown through our skill tree. So this is up very frequently. So 30% fire rate is huge. That's like our biggest, most important scaler for the build. And you know, that stacks with another rep kit fire rate skill in our tree, which we'll talk about when we get there. But yeah, I don't know. War paint's nuts. I mean, you can just, if you want to use, I think I have a triple bypass with fire rate. Yeah. So I mean, you can use something like this, 15% versus 30. Not a crazy difference, but I don't know. I want to min-max my fire rate personally. So I would love to get this with a fire rate augment. I don't know, once again, if that's possible, but the thought of that has me wanting to farm one. But I mean, I don't know. Just the base chrome thing will do for now. And the reload speed does help if I do overheat and break, which I do during mobbing purposely. So whatever, it's fine. Other weapons, you can use the bod. This bod with bloodshot combo is kind of a no-brainer. With Undead Eye, every bod shot will trigger a bloodshot. Basically, every shot you might get really bad RNG and not get one. But this thing shoots 5 pellets with a 33% chance each to proc. So you're at a very high percent chance to proc it. But I mean, it's not guaranteed, but the chances it doesn't proc are pretty low. But yeah, it does a ton of damage. Crazy ammo economy. I have AR mode, so I have like 1,400 bullets. I just never even come close to running out of ammo. And with this gun, with the Finnity, you will burn through ammo for mobbing. I actually can run this thing as a main when I'm doing like drill sites with, like I said, with fireworks and stuff. But for like story missions, it's a little dicey. So if you're running low, just switch to bod, and I mean, you're gonna do a ton of damage with all the bloodshot synergies we have going on. Other two guns are up to you. Stray is really fun for ad clear too, but it double dips the ammo with Finnity, so kind of rough. And then I just have Rainbow Vomit on because it's Rainbow Vomit. Who doesn't love Rainbow Vomit? Oh, and the of course the firmware is very important actually. So heating up 2-piece is very important. So without the 2-piece heating up, you usually get like from 50 to like 75 shots per overheating. If you look on the bottom right, okay, we overheated at 54. So that's important because we want to stay overheated for as long as we can. So you can get like from 50 to 70 or so. No, 61. It varies. Like when you overheat. With the 2-piece heating up, you can get to like 75 to 100 shots fired without overheating. So it just extends the time in overheat, which is basically extending the time so we're critting. So we get to 97 there. That 2-piece is, I mean, it's best in slot for this build, I think. There's nothing that's like really crazy otherwise. 3-piece Deadeye is nice. You can do 3-piece heating up, 2-piece Deadeye. I haven't done the math on which is better. I assume this one's better. I don't think this gun damage is multiplicative, but I don't know. Everything dies anyway. Like, I haven't gone that crazy with the testing, but so that's the gear. Moving to the skill tree, we are pretty much full in green tree with 1 point in red tree, which we'll get to. So first row, we start with grave sights. You get crit damage and gun handling on kill skill, so which we are going to be proccing very often by either killing or by proccing mortal terror, which we'll get to at the bottom. We're not taking leeching attunement because we don't need kinetic. We don't really do splash damage. And this 1 point in the rep kit cooldown is all we really need because we're going to be proccing kill skills like crazy. And this comes from our class mod, which is really nice. So we don't need to spend points there. 5 out of 5, next row. So second row, we go 5 out of 5 Fiendish Invigoration, which gives us 30% fire rate and movement speed for 10 seconds after using a rep kit. So let me just show that now. So if we start with no buffs at all, we're just shooting like pretty fast. I mean, it's still, you know, it's like a minigun. It is scaling up with the kill skill that we just went over. Nothing crazy. Once we rep kit, it's just, it's insane. Like, I've had it like almost, it sounds like the audio's breaking in the game, but it's just insane fun. So yeah, a lot of bloodshot procs. So we're just, our rate of fire is just our like best scaler in my opinion, so we're just stacking as much as we can. We are using bloodletter, not necessary in this build, but it's free damage, 30% gun damage per second. Hard to beat. I mean, if you really don't want to use Bloodletter, we're not using any like crazy, we're not letting our dots crit or anything like that. So Bloodletter's still best, even on a Bloodletter focus build. Material components I'm taking here. This is a bit of a flex. You can go between 4 different nodes. I'm going to say like 4 different skill nodes. I would recommend taking like 2 out of the 4. And you can kind of pick for your choosing. I take material components because it buffs fireworks for mobbing. Like I was having, when I was doing drill sites, I was noticing like a lot of the mobs were like 1 HP from my fireworks. And so I put this on because I have a kinetic fireworks. And now they all just chain one-shot each other in UVHM 5, which is awesome. So that's why I use this. And obviously you get the kinetic damage for Bloodletter and Blood is Power and Bloodshot. And yeah, so it's just nice. But you can flex this slide here, Grave Vitality. This extra health will scale Bloodshot, Ars Arcana, which is the other one I take. And then the 4th node you can take is actually in Blue Tree, is this maximum health capacity. The thing with these 2 health ones, though, this one here and Grave Vitality, the percentage scales off of your base health. So it's not like a flat, like this, if I were to go 8 out of 5, it's like 80% health capacity, which sounds insane. It's still pretty good, but it's only 80% of the base, your like base 5k health. So you're only getting like, what's that, like another like 3 or 4k health, but it's not scaling. It doesn't include like flat damage increases like Timekeeper's New Shield. Like it's not scaling your 13k health. It's scaling like your 5k health. So it's really like a 30 to 40% increase total. And then the Blue Tree is like 15 total, but this doesn't require kill skills. It's just all full time. So they're not bad. I've tested all 4 of these, like combinations of the 2. They're all pretty equal. I think Grave Vitality and Ars Arcana come out on top. I can't remember, but yeah, it's kind of a flex. Like I said, everything dies with this build anyway. None of these increase your rate of fire, so it's kind of up to you. I like material components and Ars Arcana. And then obviously Bloodshot. This is the core of the build, along with your weapon. So 5 out of 5. I have +3 class mod. I would love to get a +5. I just need to farm for a better one. Yeah, I mean, every sniper shot has a 33% chance to proc this Bloodshot, which is a big chunk of damage. I'll just kind of show you visually. So you can see in the bottom left, you'll see the Bloodshot icon. I don't have it right now, so this next shot, I think it's probably going to deal like 10k damage. If you look above his health bar, you'll see it. It's like 79 is the red number. The next one is so that was like 7,900 damage. This next shot's a Bloodshot, 82,000. It's like a 1,000%. I mean, it's just an insane jump in damage. Another one, 83,000. Got another one. I got 3 in a row. This one, next one's not a Bloodshot. You'll see it's like 7k, 9k, plus 1,400 from this guy. What do you call this one? Blood is Power. But yeah, then the Bloodshot, 83. So that's where all your damage. Basically all your damage is coming from. Like 90% of your damage is Bloodshot, and you get some Bloodletter ticks too. You can see it's like that'll stack up when you're spraying. It'll stack up like usually a couple 100k, maybe more. Yeah, 190. So that's another passive damage. But I mean, your Bloodshots are just gonna be going crazy. So that's the focus. 10 out of 10 Bloodshot is the goal. I'll get there at some point, but 80% it'll do for now. And then we are taking Essence Leech for Lifesteal. This just helps us keep our health topped off, stay alive, and also scales our Blood is Power. So this is 20% when your Incarnate is active. So that's 300% times 20 is 60% bonus kinetic damage with your guns. So that is crazy, and that also scales really well with Bloodshot. And then we have, like I said, 1 point in Red Tree, Grave Sustenance. This is just to extend the duration of your Incarnate. Not that you really need it, because most bosses are going to die before your default Incarnate runs out, but some have like weird phases, or like, I mean, stuff can go wrong. Like sometimes you just need, and there's nothing, it just hurts in this build if you don't have Incarnate up, because you don't have the auto reload. This just kind of guarantees like in a boss fight you have Incarnate up at all times. So yeah, if you just look at the Incarnate bar, which is like in the bottom, we don't even need a syringe. I mean, you can just see it's full the whole time. That's just with 1 point in that skill. I mean, I didn't do the auto reload. I don't even need, I mean, you'll see it'll stack itself all the way back up. Not all the way back. I mean, it'll get up there. It'll last for basically as long as I'm doing boss damage. Unless there's like some crazy long downtime. So the skill we're taking is Incarnate, for one very important specific reason. Witchy Trigger Finger is the augment we take. So when you hit an enemy with your Eldritch Blast or your Phase Explosion, like when you first pop your action skill, it's going to full reload your weapon, which is like very important for this build, because we are going to want to reload before we overheat, right? So we're going to reload around like 70, 60, boom, reloaded, done. We're overheated again, 60, let's do it now. and you can just shoot forever as long as you don't wait too long. If you overheat, it kind of hurts your DPS. So you're gonna want to just, I mean, I can do this. I can do it until I run out of ammo, which takes a long time because the way this gun works, it does not consume ammo when you overheat. So if you see I'm at 62, right? Once I start spraying, it'll probably go down to like 40 something, 43, and now I'm just stuck at 43 because I'm overheating. And then once I reload, it'll cool it off, so it's a little more ammo. And then we're overheated again, we go 50, 60, you know, we're just spraying. And then it's gonna probably eat almost all my ammo. And then we're overheated again, we just sit here. I'm just gonna let it break. I do run vibe check for the capstone. You can run heart piercer. I like vibe check because the animation is quicker. With heart piercer, it's like a long wind up, and it also drains a little bit of your health, which does get replenished pretty quickly with pretty much instantly with lifesteal. But like literally, I mean, you're just losing damage by doing it that way. So just run vibe check. It's smoother. That's basically a build. We'll look at the specializations and nothing like too crazy. Now with caffeine is like a must in a lot of builds, including this one. It just gives your axe skill back much quicker. The incarnate has a pretty long cooldown, so this is like pretty much a must, I think. The other really strong ones were to do this. It just increases your gun damage as you deal gun damage up to 50 stacks, which we're reaching almost instantly. It's up right now if you see in the bottom left. Just watch like the stacks go up 30, 40. We're already at 50. Like, so this is pretty much a full uptime. You know, it's just for gun damage. I use contamination and compounding afflictions just because that's what I've unlocked right now. I don't really know how these two work. I haven't tested them. Is compounding afflictions 1% per different status effect? Is it 1% per status effect proc? I don't really know. Contamination just leaves some more bloodletter, which is nice. I would really swap out, I think, compounding afflictions for best defense. I just am poor and I'm not respecting for that. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there, but that's probably what I would go for. I also want to try overkill if this like procs just on hits, because 50% of initial hit is pretty strong. So yeah, I need to test that once I get there, but I'm just, like I said, I'm broke, so I'm not respecting this. So not a big deal. This build doesn't need anything else, but that's another thing I like. There's still room to improve here. Like I can get a better rep kit. I could probably get a better enhancement. I could get a better class mod. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the build. Do some quick footage of a boss kill and then some mobbing, and then round it out. All right, so quick spoiler warning. This is a main story boss we're about to kill here. So if you have not completed the story or gotten through a few of the main bosses, I would close the video now or skip ahead to the mobbing section just to see how it does against mobs. But there's nothing left really to like talk about for the build. Just footage and like me yapping. So if you don't want to see the boss, then close the video. But this is where the Undead Eye class mod drops. So I've been farming this a lot. For a better one, I'd love a +5 bloodshot. And also the super soldier shield drops here, which is an insane item and which I will be using in my next build. I'm just trying to get some better passives on it. I haven't gotten a good one yet. I have these two, a couple more that were garbage, but so we're trying to get a better one. The drop rate's pretty low. It's like mostly the class mods I get here, but the boss, I'm going to say his name now, so please close the video, close the video, close the video. Vile Lictor, he drops the goodies. But this build melts him, you'll see here. It's great here because a lot of builds don't do well against Vile Lictor. We're going to rep kit, incarnate, and then we're just going to yeah. So a lot of like dot builds don't do anything against him. You know, like the bleed builds. I think some other builds aren't very good. Like, but this one, I mean, it's just direct damage, just straight up gun go burr. So nothing really he can do about it. And I mean, he's dead. This is Vol Hunter, rank 5. Just to be clear. Yeah, come on, baby. Ooh, we got a super soldier. Health booster. Garbage. Okay, so we're at the drill site. I did a couple runs, but I was not recording. So the lowering march, this is where the Finnity-XXXL drops from. So this is the best place to farm it. I just wanted to go here to just show like how this build does in mobbing. I do have 2 small changes I make to the build. So if I use fireworks for mobbing because it's just insane. Ton of like free chunk damage and like it'll just chain kill ads if they are squishy enough, which even on tier 5, like this does enough damage with our kinetic damage boost here to pretty much just chain kill them. And I swapped to this swarm grenade too, because it's also like similar effect. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but I don't really know what else to use here. And they do have, mostly because I like to swap to the 2-piece airstrike firmware for more splash damage with fireworks. I assume applies to fireworks. But you don't have to make those changes. Like those are just, I just think fireworks is wicked fun. But like you can just run with the boss build if you just have timekeepers and nothing else. Perfectly fine. But just be a little more like cautious of your ammo, I guess. Even now, like there goes fireworks. Like that guy, yeah, he just dies. These ads are really spread out though, so like actually not great for this one. But yeah, keep an eye like on your ammo. I like to, if you just let this thing overheat, like you can just, when you're overheated, you can just like 1-2 tap fire, like the crits will just kill them. Like so free. Or you can just spray it if you want to spray because it's fun. I do let it break because it's just extend your ammo. The boss did spawn, so we're gonna rip our incarnate, rip our kit, and spray and pray, and he will just all these guys. Yeah. How much else to it? Fireworks didn't really do much in this one because they're just all kind of spread out, but good. But bodies in line. We've got like 1 purple. Nice. VEX-XXXL level 5, by the way. The quality increase is going crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any feedback, this is like my first video I've made like this. I kind of want to do a few more as well. I have some other builds in mind. I have one other that I've put together, so I'll probably be posting that soon. But if you guys have any thoughts, feedback, it's all welcome. I'm just, this is just having some fun making this, build crafting. This game has been an absolute treat, breath of fresh air. As a huge fan of the looter shooters, and it's been pretty stale lately, but I mean, this game is, I don't know, it's been amazing fun. So yeah, happy hunting, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.